So we did a game project for the game Solitaire. The rules are that there are 7 piles of cards. In each column there we see the top and bottom card in the pile, and the user can press on the buttons above the piles to move the card from one deck to the other. And they can press the first button and then press the second button, and it moves it if the card is of different suit and also a value less than the card of the other deck.
Card.java. So this basically just mimics what a card would be. We have the face value, and then we have the color, and then the suit. The face value is just going to be, we used for ease of use. We made it so that starting at 0 would be 10. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4 for ace, 2, 3, 4, and then king, queen, and jack are 11, 12, and 13 respectively. This just makes the card, and then we have a function that's in here that actually takes 2 of the values, the value that is given for the actual card itself, and then the actual suit of that card, and then searches for the, returns a string, which we use later to search for the actual name of the image that will be called in order to get some of our graphics up. Deck 52 basically creates and mimics the 52 card deck, not including the jokers. It first builds from a text file on our left. We see here S is for spades, and then we go down the line there. It takes in each line, and then we'll send it off to the card constructor to make that card, and then actually put it into an array, or not an array, a vector, which will hold all 52 of the cards. We have other functions in here that shuffle it. You could take one deck and add it to another. You can move a card around. You could take it, remove cards from the deck, insert cards, and whatnot. Okay, so this is Solitaire.java. This is the main sort of function that sets up the actual board of how the game's going to go. We used an array of decks for each of the 7 columns that contain 2 decks each. The first deck, the bottom deck, is going to be all the face-down cards, and the top array, the element 1, what it would be, is actually the face-up cards. So when you first start off, the leftmost column is going to be 1 face-up card and nothing on the bottom. The second one's going to have 1 face-down card on the bottom of the array and 1 face-up card on top array, and with an increasing amount on the bottom array. We did this so it's a little bit easier to actually keep track of what's face up and face down, rather than looping through the cards and figuring out, like with the Boolean, whether they're face up or face down. Solitaire also holds other methods that set up the game, like it shuffles the cards. It calls a shuffle from the deck 52. It will do a little bit of error checking to see whether, when we want to move decks around, it'll do a little bit of error checking and then actually call the other methods from deck 52 to move the decks around. And it also has a little bit of error checking for when you have an empty space, whether you put a king on there or not when you have it from the left side decks. And the left side decks, we have 2 decks. One is the face down drawing deck, where you actually flip the cards over, and one is the face up deck that is going to be seen later. When it also holds the functions when you want to flip over the cards from the face down deck to the top deck.
Okay, so here we have a menu.java, and it sets up a JFrame and a JPanel inside of the JFrame, where we set a green background and a JLabel that says Solitaire, so that the user knows what game they're playing. And it has 2 buttons, 2 J buttons, one for playing the game, which will take you to the game and set it up. And then another J button that quits the program.
Okay, so the last part is the game J panel of Java. It has the different buttons used in the GUI, and also loads the images for the cards. Then it also has some functions where we set up what happens if we press the different buttons.
Okay, so here we have our main menu where it says Solitaire, and we have the two buttons for play and quit. I'm gonna have one of my group members go through the game so you guys can see how it works. So here we have the 7 decks, and above each deck it tells you, the number is telling you how many face down cards are under each deck. And to make a move, you have to click on 2 buttons. The first one you click is the one you want to move, and then the second one you click is where you want to move it to. So you just moved the 7 to the 8, so it moved it over there, and you just made another move, and that's pretty much how that part of it works.
Notice how the number has changed here. There's no longer a card face down below it.
Yeah. And as you play, the number will change how many cards are face down. And then you could draw a card by clicking drawing deck, and it appears right there. And it's now the face up card you have.
We only have the top and the bottom of the face up cards showing. The 2 most important ones you need to play with.